Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena and another Florida Everblades pregame show. I'm Hannah Jo Groves here with Jake Maurice. Jake, that last game against the Tahoe Night Monsters for the Everblades, it was a tough one. What would you say was the biggest problem for the Blades on Saturday?
They got into a lot of penalty trouble, and then they couldn't get the kill working to get them out of it. They gave up 3 power play goals against the most amount of power play goals they've given up since December of 2023 in a single game. So it was a tough night for the special teams. Their own power play couldn't get them a goal when they needed it. And it was just a game where it seemed like the Everblades were caught in a bad spot before the game with Jordan Sambrook going up to the AHL and running with 13 forwards, 5 defensemen. And then anytime you have to kill a 5-minute power play in a game, you're going to be in some trouble. So it was a game where the Blades fell behind and never really could find a way to get anything going to dig themselves out of it. They got the 1 goal in the third period to give them a little bit of life, but wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough. But the good news is we get to start a new series tonight against the South Carolina Stingrays. And I read that this team has been called the Florida Everblades arch nemesis. So maybe for some new Blades fans, can you explain the relationship between the Stingrays and the Blades?
Second and third oldest franchises in the ECHL. They've played each other 8 times in the playoffs. Both teams have won 4 of those series.
Okay.
The Blades have 4 Kelly Cups. That's the most in the ECHL history. The Stingrays have 3 Kelly Cups. That's the second most in ECHL history. And they're number 1 and 2 in the division right now. And this is a huge series this week. The Blades sitting 7 points ahead of the Stingrays for first place in the South Division. But with 3 games against each other, that's 6 points available. And if you're doing the math there, South Carolina wins all 3. Then all of a sudden they're 1 point back of the Blades. And that would be a little nerve-wracking for Blades fans who the Blades have been in sole possession of first place in the South Division since December 13th.
Right.
It's been the Everblades division for 2.5 months now. But this series is really going to be the one that determines, is it Florida just locking down first place and pretty much just going through the rest of the season waiting for the playoffs to start and be the top team, or is it going to be a real dogfight all the way to the end?
And one of those guys on the Stingrays team that I wanted to point out is Garen Bjorklund.
Garen Bjorklund, yeah, the goaltender.
Yeah, he is now the ECHL goalie of the week with 23 saves on Sunday. What makes him so good, Jake?
Well, he actually, over the last couple of years, had some trouble. He was injured his rookie year, missed every game but 1. So that was tough. And then last year, it was a bit of a struggle. It was a struggle for the whole team, though. That's a big part of why they missed the playoffs. This year, it just seems that he's gotten more comfortable in being in this league. He's gotten more comfortable adapting to South Carolina's system. Their defense in front of him is stronger, helping him out. But he also just seems like a more confident goaltender. And, yeah, he's well-earned goaltender of the week. Both of the Stingrays goaltenders, Bjorklund and Seth Isley, are very strong in the crease. Matches up well against Johnson and Cranley. Pretty much everywhere you go on this roster, forward depth, defensive structure, goaltending, it's all really equal between the Everblades and the Stingrays, and arguably these are the best 2 teams in the ECHL.
Well, and we've already played them 5 times this year, and the Stingrays are currently 3 games up on us. They won 3, we've won 2, so we're going to try to even that up tonight. So, Jake, it's time for the Direct Effect Marketing 3 keys of the game. How do we get that win?
Be aggressive on the forecheck, get in on their defenders fast, because their defenders are very good at moving the puck. You don't want to give them time and space to get a rush going up the ice. The special teams have got to be at their best. South Carolina's top 5 on both the power play and the penalty kills, so the special teams unit, especially coming off a rough performance on Saturday, have got to bounce back in a big way tonight. And finally, you've got to be ready to control your emotions. This is going to be a physical, nasty, emotional series. It always is against South Carolina. You go back to that game in December, right before the Christmas holidays, where there were 185 combined penalty minutes.
Oh, man.
So there's going to be some nastiness. It's inevitable in this series that there's going to be rough stuff, but you got to make sure you keep your head on straight and don't give your opponents any opportunity, especially tonight. The Blades running a bit short-handed with Andrew Fighton serving his 1-game suspension.
Yeah.
So the Blades, everybody's got to be ready to go to keep their heads cool in the important moments, because this very well could be 3 games where just one moment decides everything.
Oh, yeah, we could be getting a playoff preview right here, right now. It could really be indicative of what happens the rest of the season. Also, you would hope that the Blades would kind of learn their lesson on some of those bad behavior penalties that resulted in some goals against them. So hopefully they can be more controlled tonight. All right, Jake. Well, thank you so much. And Blades fans, next up, we've got warm-ups, and then it is the South Carolina Stingrays versus your Florida Everblades. We'll see you soon.